No, it's right.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the 42nd annual Jim Bentley Cup right here from Toronto in Canada. We are at the Cambridge Club at the great Sheraton Hotel, and we are just about ready to rock for this third quarter-final. And it is a very warm welcome to Reid, who's just come off the court after, unfortunately, a loss. How are you feeling, Freddie?
I'm feeling all right. Just a little bummed about losing 3-0, but it was a good match. We hung in there.
Not to worry. At least now you get to have a few beers.
Exactly. Yeah, they take care of the players here, the event, very well. So
certainly
no complaints.
Yeah. So we have 4 boys out on the court at the moment. Baglio and Andres Vargas.
In white, yeah. And then we got Greg Park from USA and Johnny Smith from England in the blue. Now Park and Smith are veterans on the tour. They've played together quite a bit. Baglio and Vargas, I think this is a fresh pairing. I don't think they've played together before.
All right. So how much does cohesion play a part in doubles when you've never played with someone before?
Yeah, well, it definitely helps to play with the same partner, because obviously you can gel with them a little and figure out where everyone is in terms of positioning. But you know, if 2 players really understand the game well enough, they can kind of adapt. It's part of what makes them professional.
Now you must be pretty pleased to be playing an SDA Pro Tour event right here in Canada.
It's convenient, yeah. I only live 40 minutes away in Ajax, so it's kind of nice to have one in your home doorstep.
Yeah, no doubt. Have you got any friends and family coming to watch you, or did you have any watching you today?
My father was here actually tonight. And he's a big doubles player, and so yeah, he came out to watch. I'm sure my mom was watching on the SDA Live Tour feed.
Brilliant. It's great to have this feed going around so people at home can watch it.
Yeah.
Big thanks to SDA for having us, and hopefully you're enjoying the telecast at home. So Park and Smith in the blue. Vargas and Baglio in the white. Baglio looks to be playing the left wall, and Vargas on the right. And for the Blues, it's Smith on the left wall and Park on the right.
Park and Smith can definitely hit the ball pretty hard. Actually, Vargas and Baglio have a pace of their own as well, but Smith Park are quite known for their pace and steadiness.
Well, it's Baglio and Vargas who have started this one best. They're up 3-1 already. That was a nice shot. It caught the nick at the back of the court, so 3-2, or 2-3 we should say, with the serve from the right. Now this is an interesting court. We were mentioning in the previous match how low the roof is, and how it's a fast court. Do you find that's the case when you play here? Is it a little bit different to what you're used to?
Well, in terms of having a low roof, it definitely sets the tone in terms of you don't have the height to play with the lobs. So yeah, it's going to be a faster paced game. People will be hitting a little lower, a little faster. So it takes a bit of adjusting to get used to.
It must be hard to play those lobs when you're scared if it's going to hit the roof. What happens if it hits the roof? Is it a...
It's out. Yeah, it's
out of play.
Roof's out of bounds.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you would replay the point. Maybe they called it a let, but nope. Certainly in some other sports. I know cricket is one sport. When they have the roof shut and the ball hits the roof, they just scrap it and they go on to the next ball. It just doesn't count.
Okay.
So that's why I was thinking along those lines, but not in squash.
Yeah, squash, you play the court. So even if there's holes in the wall, if it hits that hole, you got to play it.
Brilliant.
Although you shouldn't have a tournament, but there's a hole in the wall in the court.
Well, yeah. You would imagine that they need to patch it up pretty quick if they were going to have a tournament this good. So 3-3. This will be an important game for both of these pairings. The winners will have to take on probably the second favourites of the tournament. The match this afternoon, Victor Berg and Matt Jenson, very highly rated.
That'll be an excellent match. They're playing Mathur and Badan, the number 2 seeds. So yeah, that could actually be a toss-up because I don't think Victor and Matt have played together before. So this will be a fresh pairing.
Yeah. Well, Mudge was saying earlier that he thinks that's the game of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
The winners of this match will have to play what should be a very strong pairing in the next round in the semi-finals. Damien Mudge and Ben Gould certainly the favourites this weekend. Would you agree?
I would say so. They win 97% of the tournaments. So.
Not bad, are they?
Yeah.
Well, that ball just found the tin. So 6-2 is the score. The boys in white have started wonderfully well here at the start of this match. Baglio and Vargas.
Yeah, Vargas and Baglio are holding their position well. They're playing steady and keeping the ball deep, not getting too excited.
Let on that occasion.
So it looks like they're trying to work Baglio a bit. Sometimes when a team can sense complacency in a player, they'll try and pick on them.
Wow, a long point this one. Smith and Park really, they want to get back in this opening game. They're already down by 4. The last thing they want is to get blown away here in the opening game. Brilliant. Straight down the middle.
That's the splitter. Splits the team up.
And through the legs of Park. How skillful that was.
Oh. Almost caught Vargas sleeping there on that drive.
That ball down, so 7-3 now. Baglio and Vargas have a 4-point advantage.
Oh. Park calling in for Smith, but Smith wasn't there, wasn't ready for it. I think he was expecting Park to hit it.
Nice little drop shot. That was very well played. Let's take another look.
Yeah,
it was the backhand.
Takes the space, clears
the
Carl out,
yeah.
and places the ball at the front very nicely. First serve, a fault there. As Park plays with his first serve. Could be a stroke.
Yes, Let.
Let's see this on replay.
Let was the call in the end. Yeah, I think.
Looks like he cleared. I could see it being called Let. But
so what happens now, Freddie, after your little commentary stint? You do any warming down or spend some time with the physio?
sometimes when I'm injured, I definitely try and book a physio appointment. But no, I'm feeling all right, so I'll probably get a stretching session in later and just try and eat right and hydrate.
What's
but
next
as far
for
as
you?
the tournament, we're done. We're done for this tournament.
Okay.
It's single elimination.
Yep.
So next up is a tournament in Wilmington, Delaware. And Justin and I will be playing together in that.
All right.
You should see some familiar faces. All these guys should be going out to that.
Do you end up playing against the same guys every tournament, or are there other fresh faces that come in?
Well, the tour's getting a bit deeper, so we're starting to see some newer faces. You know, Robin and Scott, they were new on the tour last year, and they made quite a mark. They ended up getting ranked in the top 10. So it's good. You know, we're seeing the tour grow a bit more. But yeah, at these main events, you're starting to see a lot of the same people in the main draws. And so yeah, we play each other a lot. Johnny asks for the let as Park plays it. As soon as they call the let, the rally stops. So Smith technically called the let before Park hit it. So
well, just hearing the umpire in my left, over my left shoulder, he said yes let, so he got it in the end. Is that a surprise?
No, there's no surprise because Johnny had the let to begin with.
Okay.
And that was a nice little boast from Carl there. Good rally. Both teams fighting to keep position, and it's going to end in a let there.
So 7-9 is the score. Johnny Smith and Gregory Park, they're down by 2. A bit of information about them. Johnny Smith is ranked number 9 in the world. Park ranked number 16. Now Smith is actually the head squash pro at the Union Club of New York, even though he is from England.
That's right.
And Greg Park is American, and he's based at the Great Bay Racket Club in New Jersey. So both those boys based in the US. Not far for them to come to this tournament.
And the previous year, Johnny Smith was playing with a player named Mike Ferreira. And the years before that, he was actually playing with Greg. So I think this is a nice little reunion for them.
Yeah, back in 2012, they were finalists in Cleveland at the Tavern Club. And as you say, they spent some time apart, but they've been reunited this year, so they'll certainly know each other pretty well, having played together a fair bit. Certainly 2012 was a big year for them. They won multiple titles in that particular year, and they were a semi-finalist actually at the World Championships in 2011, the year before that. So they've been around for a while, and they won the Bentley in 2012, this particular event. In fact, Smith won the Bentley. He wasn't actually paired with Park at the time. But Smith has won this event before, so plenty of experience for the Englishman.
And this has got to be Carl's second or third time here at the Bentley, because I played with him one year. It was, I think 2 years ago we played together.
Yeah, they've been on the tour for a while. They're ranked 24 and 25 respectively, Baglio and Vargas. They're both based in New York. And they actually reached the final of this year's Pittsburgh Challenger, and they lost to Clarke and Arnold in the final.
That's a good attack by Carl there. So Carl's starting to get an eye for it now, and he's taking the ball in when he has the opportunity, which is nice to see. He needs to start doing that more. He sets up the rally as well, hangs in the rally. And that ball just escaping Vargas.
I think Park might have worn one in the back there. He's okay though. It was not intentional. Do you ever get hit with the ball when you're playing?
Oh, it happens. It's part of the game.
Must sting a little bit.
It's like a paintball. Sometimes much worse. Depends on how hard you're getting hit.
Yeah.
And who's hitting it. That ball catching the tin.
Yeah, just missed.
As he tries to move Carl forward.
So 12-10 or 10-12 with Smith and Park with the serve. Baglio Vargas up by 2 now. Brilliant.
Perfectly struck. 11-12. Just shot right past Carl. And even caught the nick, sort of. That was a good angle. And a little miscommunication there brings 12 all, so teams are tied up. These next points are pretty crucial.
Yeah, big moment coming up. Certainly this point now. That should be a lead. It is. Big moment this. We've seen so far in the first couple of quarterfinals at this event, the pairing that wins the first game ultimately has gone on and won the match.
The first game is probably the most important, just more mentally. It sets the tone. And as we know in doubles, it's a big game of momentum. You got two players in each team, 2 different brains out there dealing with it differently. So. That ball getting struck into the neck at a very high velocity.
So that is 2 game balls now for Johnny Smith and Gregory Park. And wouldn't they love to start this quarterfinal with the opening game? That should be a let.
So that ball just caught the tin.
Yeah, I thought for a second there they'd taken the first opening game, but it must have just missed. And now Baglio and Vargas, this becomes an extremely crucial point for them. If they can get back to 14 all, that would be much more comfortable.
The all-important first game. This rally could be a long rally. Both teams trying to play steady. Vargas showing his own pace, blasting it down the middle towards Park's backhand, which he was not ready for. So that brings it to 14 all. Sudden death. I love sudden death.
Yeah, that was a really important point.
That was a nice shot, nice get. Bit of a cross-court battle going on here. And that ends in a let.
Gee, what a unbelievable way to finish what was a really gripping point Still, we are at 14 all. So sudden death. Next point takes the first game.
Takes the first.
Brilliant.
It's just game ball, game ball.
Is that it? No,
And
let's. For a second, maybe. I don't know if he would have got it, but let is the call.
I think the ball popped up a little, so it was a chance.
Yeah.
And that's the game. Baglio Vargas take the first game.
So 15-14. What were your thoughts on the first game, Freddie?
That was interesting. You know, Baglio Vargas, they had a great start. They took the lead in the beginning, and Smith and Park fought back quite nicely. And then I guess when it gets close at the end of the game, anything can happen. Teams get the jitters. But no, Baglio Vargas played well there at the end. I think they were trying to expose Park on his backhand there, and it seemed to work in those last 2 points.
Well, this match has all the makings of a classic. If the next two games are just as good, we could be here for a 5-gamer.
Could be a long match.
We haven't had any 5-game matches so far. We've had the first two quarterfinals have been decided in straight games.
Yeah. Thanks for twisting the knife.
All right. Well, you are watching the 2015 Jim Bentley Cup. It's the 42nd annual edition, and we will be back very soon for game number 2. See you soon. All right, time for game number 2. The first game taken by Baglio and Vargas, 15-14. And we are now ready to rock for game number 2. Although, a bit of a false start there. The umpire just wasn't quite ready. Now we're ready to go. And it is a warm welcome back to Freddie Reid. How you feeling there, Freddie? Have you tightened up since your match?
No, not at all. I'm used to the singles game, which is a little tougher on the body.
Okay.
So doubles isn't as bad.
You're a young guy still, so that will count in your
advantage. It's all relative, yeah.
Damien was, after his match, had the ice on, and he was a little bit sore, and he's 39 years old, so he's got a few years on you.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's got to take care of his body.
That's true.
He's playing at a very high level, and as he said, he is a bit older, so and he's smart. And he does take care of his body well. He hardly ever gets injured that we know of.
Yeah. He had a few sore spots, but I think he probably hides them well.
That ball took a lucky bounce at the back there. Carl sort of misjudged it.
So 2-3 the score.
And Park sensed that Vargas is hanging back, and he plays the drop at a very nice angle. So that was a good choice by Greg there.
Gee, good reflexes from Baglio. I'm not sure how he got that one back. It was fired at his feet. Oh, the low post from the left-hand wall, but Vargas was up to it. He got it back. Vargas asking for the let, and he gets it. So still 4-2, Park and Smith. This is just what they wanted to start the second game. They need a bit of a lead here. Maybe they can get a few points in a row. They'd love to win the second game and get it back to 1-1. They got another point there.
And that was a nice shot by Greg. A slam dunk into the neck.
Spot on. It was so precise into the nick, it rolled out of there. Oh, again.
Another one.
That was Vargas on that occasion. Let's take a look. It was the forehand. Yep.
That was a nice reactionary attack. It shows good hands.
Another long rally, this one. Baglio and Vargas and trying to stay alive. That ball out of play. So they get one back. 4-6. That one just found the tin. That was unfortunate from Baglio.
Yeah, I think he misjudged that. The ball took a funny bounce and he wasn't watching it properly.
What are some of the reasons a ball would take a funny bounce? Is it the court is a little uneven?
No, it's maybe the spin. It's usually the spin of how they hit it. It really affects the ball. And in softball singles, spin doesn't affect the ball quite as much. so it doesn't play as much of a role. But
it was great length from Johnny Smith. And now, unfortunately, Park, he found the tin. So 5-7, Vargas and Baglio hanging on.
And Park asking for the left there on the backhand.
So Baglio and Vargas, they're on a bit of a run here, back to 6-7.
Tighten the game back up, so now it's anyone's game again. Usually teams like to get a lead in points before they start getting more aggressive. And now that lead's like cushion is gone, it's gonna be another battle of long rallies. And they've tied it up, 7-all.
Well, we expected this after the first game. We knew it was going to be tight. These two pairs are very well matched. And after taking the first game at 15-14, Baglio and Vargas, they've now leveled it up at 7s here in game number 2.
And a 10 from Park gives Baglio Vargas the first lead in this second game.
So we are still level at 8 apiece. Park and Smith. In fact, it was Smith on that occasion with the low boast, and he went around the walls. Gee, great shot from Smith, but in the end, Baglio was up to it. He kept it alive, and now Smith going for even more power. This game has come alive now, folks. Both of these pairs are chasing the lead here in game number 2. And now they settle down. Gee, it got exciting for a little bit there, mate.
Yeah, it's a long, tense rally. Pace has definitely picked up. I think both teams have to be careful not to leave anything out in the open at the front of the court. That's a nice attack.
Both
That's
players
a good
were
attack
committed.
by Carl.
Yeah,
good pick up by Johnny.
They were both committed to the front court there. They got away with being out of position. And still this point
What a
goes on.
rally.
This must be a 50-55 shot rally so far. Maybe even more. Smith went for the backhand high drop shot, but
Those are the ones he's got to be careful of.
yeah.
You don't want to move it to the front just for the sake of moving it to the front because you haven't done it in a while. You got to do it with purpose, the right time. And that will end in a let after all those shots.
I cannot believe that. It was the longest point of the tournament, and it's ended in a let. Can you believe that?
Carl had to get that early, and he chose to let it go right there.
Brilliant stuff on that occasion from Baglio. It was the forehand drop into the front left.
That's the one.
Played it perfectly, didn't he?
Yeah, the white team's looking hungry. They're looking for the ball, and they're taking it in when they can. They're not afraid. Oh, that's a loose shot.
Gee, it's tense stuff at the moment, folks. I think the call was let on that occasion.
Yeah.
So 10-all. There's really only 1 point separating them after what's been a long time on court for both of these pairs. 15-14 in the first game, now 10-10 in the second. Make that 11-10.
So that was an error by Parkey. He should have let that ball go or called Johnny in earlier.
That ball out of play. An uncharacteristic error there. So 12-10. Baglio and Vargas now with the advantage. Just having a score correction there. We'd initially thought it was 12-10. It's actually 11-9. We're having trouble hearing the ref because he isn't speaking into the microphone. So it's now 11-10. The second man, Baglio to serve. This is another tense game, and that ball just getting blasted by Carl. So he left a loose serve, boxed himself out. Johnny played the right shot. Yeah, that was a lovely backhand. He played it with some serious power. Again, we're level, 11-all. Very little separating these two teams. Oh, that was a great get on that occasion from Smith. He had to really stretch.
And Carl hitting it just wide enough to escape Greg's racket there. So
big moments in the match coming up. Baglio and Vargas, if they can just squeeze out this game and go 2-love up, that'd be a massive advantage. If they don't, they are back to level 1-1. That should be a let.
And the refs call it as a let.
All right.
Ooh, that could have been a stroke. I would have likely given a stroke there.
That was brilliant from Vargas. Just killed the point there nicely. 13-11 is the score. 2 away now, Baglio and Vargas, from possibly a 2-game-to-love lead. Oh, the back-to-back boasts from Johnny Smith.
Johnny getting a bit aggressive there, trying to finish off the point.
He missed the second one, unfortunately, so now 3 game balls for Baglio and Vargas.
And another error from Park gives Carl and Andres Vargas the second game, so they're up 2-love.
2 games to love. Who would have thought? They've struggled a little bit in game number 1. Game number 2, 15-11 they take it. So you are watching the 2015 Jim Bentley Cup live from the Cambridge Club here in Toronto. And we'll see you soon for game number 3. You're watching the 2015 Jim Bentley Cup. It's the quarterfinals live from the Cambridge Club here in Toronto, Canada. And at the moment, it's Carl Baglio and Andre Vargas, who are currently leading Johnny Smith and Gregory Park. They're up 2 games to love, 15-14, 15-11 in those first 2 games. And it is my very special privilege to welcome back Freddie Reid. How you feeling, Freddie? You enjoying the match?
Good, yeah. Special privilege to be here. Got potential upset on our hands here. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out.
Is this a little unexpected?
A little bit. You know, I think most people would have bet on Johnny Smith and Greg Park to be leading 2 games to love here, but tables are reversed.
All right, so not far away from the start of game 3. It's do or die now for Smith and Park. They can't afford to drop this game, otherwise it's good night. As for Baglio and Vargas, they'd be delighted with where they sit currently.
Yeah, they've got to be pretty excited, so I think they got to try and keep their nerves calm and stick to the game plan that's been getting them the points in the beginning, which is just hold their position, rally it out, wait for their openings patiently.
So the first point of game number 3, in the end, called a let, so still no points on the board.
And a 10 from Vargas gives Park and Smith the first point. they come in 1-love. Another 10 from Vargas.
2-love.
You mentioned earlier, I think you mentioned in the first game, complacency is sometimes something that can catch these players out. That's 3 in a row from Vargas.
3 in a row. He's getting a little aggressive. Just got to refocus the head here.
On the other side of the coin, Smith and Park could be delighted to have 3 free points at the start of this game. They need to win it.
Especially that quickly. They're having long rallies to get points. Sometimes they're playing 3 or 4 rallies just to get a point because everything's ending in a let. So you don't want to give away cheap points that easy.
So that marathon point ends in a let.
And Carl catching Johnny in the head with his racket. And I think he's called a let at the same time. So accident of the game.
It's amazing to me, Freddie, we don't see that more often. These guys, they're constantly playing right up against each other. Very skillful not to hit each other.
Yeah, their player awareness is very good, so they know when their swing's fully compromised versus just getting a little bump in the hip. So we try and play through things, but if they're in the way, they're in the way, and we'll call a let.
Yeah.
And that's another 10 from the white team. So it's 4 unforced errors for Smith and Park to go up 4-love.
Yeah, this is the ideal start for Smith and Park. Bit of a nightmare for Vargas and Baglio after they were so impressive in the first 2 games, but we know when they get on a run, they can score a number of points quickly. They'll need to do that to get back in the 3rd game here.
Park asking for the let there on the volley, which he got. Gets a let. Play the point over.
It was great defense on that occasion from Baglio. He had to get back real quick after some great length from Johnny Smith, who put it deep in the back of the court. That one looks to be out of play.
catching a little bit of the frame there, but he puts it into the right spot. Perfect straight neck. Looks like it was Baglio Vargas, their second point, and it is 2-4.
Brilliant from Smith. The call was front left. That's exactly where it went, but they could do nothing about it on that occasion. Vargas it was. The placement was perfect. Oh, again into the neck. That was a wonderful play. It was Baglio.
That was a high neck.
3-5, right
Yeah.
side.
So they've pulled a couple of points back here. 3-5 now, Baglio and Vargas. Not far off. 2 behind. That should be a let.
Yes, left.
And it is.
Right side. 3-5. Yep. 4-5.
So that ball out of play. 4-5. Baglio and Vargas coming back here into this third game.
Yeah, they're showing some better grit this last couple points.
Yeah.
And I think the ball hits Park. And the refs are calling it a let because they think Vargas shaped for it. I didn't really see him shape for it, and if he doesn't shape for it, then it hits Park, then it should be Vargas's point.
Yeah, I overheard the ref say that that because the ball hit him, he gave a let. Oh, down goes Baglio. He's quickly back to his feet. That one's out of play.
Hand out. 6-4.
So 6-4. Baglio just tripping over his own feet there.
Yeah. And that should end in a stroke.
Stroke.
Yeah.
6-5.
Wonderful drop shot from Smith, but Baglio was very, very quick to get the racket underneath it, and still we go on at 5-6.
Yes, let. 6-5.
So virtually neck and neck here in the third game. See, all these games have been pretty tight. Anytime we've seen a team run away with it, the other teams clawed their way back to even. So really is anyone's game at the moment.
Brilliant power from Vargas. He fired it straight at Smith, but he was able to get it back. Now Smith defending. And another let.
Yes, let.
There's been a few lets in this game so far.
6-5, Johnny.
It's taken a while to get a point here.
wonderful stuff from Johnny
And
Smith.
6-all.
It was the low boast. And now 6-all. It felt like that point took a while to come.
It did. Took about 4 rallies.
Yeah. It was a fresh swing from Baglio then. It was a good thing Vargas was behind him. It's a good thing he didn't touch it with a little bit of his racket. Smith, great get on that occasion. And now he'll have to get back. You think he might get a let, he does.
6-all.
So 6-all is the score.
Why are the players stopping? I think the ball must be broken.
I think so. Yeah, I was just about to say, gee,
Saw
the
all their body,
intensity's gone.
yeah. Saw all their body language drop.
Yeah.
Well, so now we wait a few minutes as they warm up a new ball.
It's the second broken ball that we've seen in this game. All right, while the players get the ball all warmed up and ready to go, we'll be back in a couple of minutes for the remainder of this match. See you soon. All right, so the ball is warmed up, ready to go. 6-all here in game number 3. After Baglio and Vargas took the first 2.
Nice get by Vargas there.
Wow, this is close to one of the longest points we've seen in this championship.
The intensity is definitely up.
Yeah.
Good gets from all teams here. Yeah, very intense point here at 6-all.
Oh, unbelievable. Down goes
You can hear the crowd loving that
Baglio.
one.
Yeah. They were on the edge of their seat for the whole point. It was a really long rally in the end. Baglio just couldn't quite get it.
That was a good effort by Carl. Last second decision to dive, and he went for it anyways.
We need more points like that, Freddie. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that picks up the spirit of the crowd.
Got the crowd going, didn't it? We could hear them from upstairs. No, brilliant stuff from all 4 players on that occasion.
Yeah, I'd like to see this intensity carry through the rest of the game.
Great get from Vargas. It was right tucked into
Carl
his body.
just wasn't ready there.
Yeah. In the end, it
Wasn't
was
watching
pretty
his
important.
wall. And that's a great shot by Johnny Smith.
9-6.
So that takes it to 9-6, Smith and Park. This is really crucial stage of the match for them. Their tournament hanging by a lifeline here. They just need to get themselves on the scoreboard, get themselves this game, and then go from there. If they can't do that, it'll be good night,
9-7.
nurse.
9-7.
Greg looked a little lethargic there on the retrieval end. I think he thought that ball would be easier to get. Carl taking it in, hitting a good shot for the win. So the white team closing up that little gap that was left. It's now 8-9.
Yeah, we saw in game number 2, Smith and Park were out to a significant lead at the start of the game. They ended up losing that game. And now again, Park and Smith had a lead, and it's been closed by Vargas and Baglio. Park just forced into defense for the time being as Vargas and Baglio go on the attack. Well, Baglio did well to get that ball around Johnny Smith. Wonderful little drop shot from Smith, but Baglio was only just able to get it back in play. The point goes on. We've had a few long points already in this game, particularly in the first 2 games as well.
Yeah, this again is one of the longer points they've played. What are the odds it ends in a let?
Well, I'll tell you what, whichever team goes through to the next round, they're going to be in full recovery mode at the end of this game. They'll have to back up and play again tomorrow. This has been a marathon. Lots of long points, lots of lets as well.
No. It's high risk. That was a great choice by Park.
It was great stuff. Let's take a look. It was just a little drop shot into the front right.
Johnny broke the string on his racket, and that would have been an opportune time for Park to take a let, but he decided to play through it because he saw a winning opportunity in that front right and went for it. Paid off nice.
So we've had 2 broken strings, a broken ball, and a lot of lets in this game. But we're not far away, folks, from the conclusion. That is, of course, unless Johnny Smith and Gregory Park can win the next game and keep it alive. At the moment, they've got a 2-point advantage here in game number 3.
Carl from the left.
So it'll be Baglio serving from the left.
Nice dive by Carl. Great recovery. And they're back in the rally here. Rally goes on. Well, it was a very patient rally from both teams. And Carl somehow found an angle that made its way past Greg Park there.
Gee, that was a great get. That was Baglio diving.
And Park trying to drill him.
Oh.
Just missed him.
Was he trying to hit him?
I hit him off the front wall, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. Nothing wrong with a bit of that. All's fair in love and war, as they say.
Yeah.
So
Now,
9-10.
If you get the guy off the front wall, there's usually no love lost. It's part of the game. Just a good shot.
Fair enough. As long as the players are happy, the show must go on. If it were baseball,
Yeah.
the benches would be cleared and there'd be
Exactly.
punches thrown if you threw a pitch at the batter.
That was good recovery from Andreas there.
It was a nice boast from Gregory Park. Almost pulled off the point. Another one of these long rallies seems to be forming now.
Great
Oh,
shot
yes.
by Carl Baglio. And the crowd goes nuts. Just gets his racket up just in time. Plays a nice backhand straight drop into the nick.
So 10-10. Once again, I think this is the third game in a row we're deadlocked at 10-10.
Yeah. It's nerve-wracking. And Johnny calls for the let. So the rally stops right away.
Left side.
Oh, great get from Baglio. And it was Park with the drop shot to the front left.
11-10.
So 11-10.
Great shot by Baglio from the back of the court. Goes for the glory and he gets it. That's a good shot.
He threaded the needle, didn't he? He wouldn't have wanted to have been any lower.
It was high risk, but it
Yeah.
paid off.
Big time.
So let's see if they can use that to their advantage. And that'll just end in a let.
11-0.
And Park with a nice reverse.
12-11.
Hits it nice and soft. I think it caught the crack in the side front wall. So it took a bit of pace off it.
Oh, he played the ball into his partner there.
13-11.
So 13-11, Park and Smith with a bit of an advantage here in game number 3. They're up by 2.
13-11.
This is a big point. Smith and Park, if they can get it, they'll have a few game balls. They might be able to get themselves back in the match. Brilliant.
And that was a great straight drive from Johnny
14-11.
Smith.
Game ball.
That ball was running away from both players. Great shot.
So 3 game balls now for Smith and Park. Huge moment in the tournament for them.
And that ball catches the back wall nick. So that gives Smith Park their first game.
Well,
As
they've brought it
Baglio
back.
Vargas lead 2-1. So we will return after the few minutes.
Welcome back to the 2015 Jim Bentley Cup. It's the quarterfinals. At the moment, Carl Baglio and Andre Vargas. They lead Johnny Smith and Gregory Park 2-1. Although Smith and Park managed to get themselves back in the match here by taking the third game, 15-11. And it's another warm welcome to my mate Freddie. How are you enjoying the match, Freddie?
Match is going great. I'm enjoying it. I'm quite impressed that these two guys in white are pulling the lead at 2-1. Each game has been neck and neck up until 10-all. And you usually see one of the teams pull away.
Hoping for another exciting game 4 here. We've had a bit of a change in shirts. Looks as though Smith and Park are now wearing grey and Baglio and Vargas wearing black.
Yeah, so the white team changing to the black shirts.
One love.
Getting a fresh new look. Hopefully they'll come up with a fresh new strategy to take this next game. Be a big upset for them, so if they can pull this off, it'd be big points and certainly get talked about.
So 2-love, the score now. Smith and Park off to the ideal start here in game number 4.
And out 1-2.
Oh, wonderful, right into the nick in the front left.
Just dials it into the neck.
It was a boast off the right wall too.
1-800 3-wall neck. Another good shot. So Park finding some confidence now. He's taking the ball in much nicer than he has been in the earlier games. So this could be bad news for Vargas and Baglio. The gray team's starting to find their groove, get their mojo back, so to speak. Another good shot from Park, taking it in nicely on the backhand drop.
He's looking good here, Park, at the start of game 4, isn't he? He's just found his range straight away. Commentator's curse. That happened in the last match, actually. I was saying how there was no lets, and as I said it, there was a let.
Nice.
But not on that occasion for Park, but he has been impressive. Great power on that occasion. That was Smith.
6-2.
And he shot the ball straight past Baglio, and now a 6-2 lead as Smith and Park start to take control of this 4th game.
Left 6-2.
Great shot by Johnny. Found the opening. And he took it in beautifully. Straight drop, volley neck. Wow.
Is
that good?
Gregory Park, I think it was. It was Park again off the...
Great shot by Greg.
Yeah, off the
Half
right wall.
volley, half volley boast. Didn't even look like he was ready to hit it. So an error from Vargas
9-2.
gives Smith and Park quite a big lead here, 9-2.
Yeah, after the first 3 games were real tight, I wasn't expecting a blowout here in game number 4, but that's exactly what we're getting. Real danger signs for Vargas and Baglio after taking the first 2 games.
That ball's hit way out of court. Yeah, so Smith and Park are running away with this one. I think Baglio Vargas, they've dug themselves a big hole. Another shot
2.
struck nicely into the opening by Johnny Smith.
Oh, what a get from Baglio. I'm not sure how he got that back. It just caught a funny bounce at the back of the court. We have another long rally now. 11-2, Park and Smith well in control of this fourth game.
And that looked like a winner from
And out
Carl.
3-11.
Park made no effort to even cover that corner.
I thought for a second maybe there was a broken ball. That was the diving shot from Baglio. I thought for a second there was a broken ball. Everyone just stopped. I think he just felt he couldn't get to it and gave up.
I think he was thinking, oh, that backhand corner's not my corner. I'll just keep it open.
You might be right.
3-12.
So 3-12. Sort of diving into the tail end of this game. Yeah, I can't see the black team coming back.
And out 13-3.
I think they're going to save their efforts for the fifth game.
Yeah, it looks as though they're resigned to the fact they're going to lose this fourth game now. Maybe come out with all guns blazing in game number 5. Just 2 points away now, Smith and Park. Oh, and finds the 10 on that occasion. That was Vargas.
14-3, game ball.
So 11 game balls. You can pretty much lock this one in.
Yeah, a bit of a blowout from the first three.
Yeah, the intensity since the opening points of this game has really disappeared. And that's
there's
it.
the winner from Park.
So Johnny Smith and Gregory Park, they've done a wonderful job to level it up. They now have it back at 2 games all. We'll be back for the 5th game very soon. time for game number 5. Baglio and Vargas, they were leading 2 games to love then, and Johnny Smith and Gregory Park, they've come firing back by taking the 3rd game 15-11 and the 4th 15-3. Welcome back to Freddie Reid. And initially, at the start of this match, you said that you were a little surprised that Baglio and Vargas were leading.
Yes.
Is it now parity restored?
Yeah, well, starting to see Smith and Park wake up here. Park especially was playing well in that last game. Rattled off some good winners to get a good lead. And then he closed out the game in good fashion. So this is the Smith Park I'm used to seeing based on that last game. But it's the 5th game. Anything can happen. We've seen it before. This is where the upset happens. Oh. First error from Baglio.
1 love.
Gives Park and Smith their first point.
So no doubt Smith and Park will be hoping this game is as fast as the last one. They've spent quite a bit of time on the court. And whoever wins this game will have a little disadvantage tomorrow ahead of the semi-finals, but maybe not a huge disadvantage, just a little bit. I guess the longer on court you are.
Yeah, the more energy you're using.
Yep, spot on. And the first few matches we saw today were over in straight games pretty quickly.
Carl from the back gets the sneak attack. You can see the crowd loving that as they shake the camera off the glass.
Yeah, they were bashing the glass. It looked like the camera was experiencing an earthquake. Good crowd in today. And that's another lovely looking shot. That was Smith on that occasion.
Park asking for the let on Vargas. And the correct call is made. It is a let. That one runs away from Vargas.
3-1.
So Park Smith off to another good start here.
Broken
And
ball.
another ball. That is the 2nd ball they've broken.
All right, well, we'll take this opportunity for a quick break, and we will see you soon for the remainder of this match.
3-1.
All right, we're back ready to finish what has been a gripping match between these two pairs. We're into game number 5. Tell you one thing I have noticed about Park and Smith, they do enjoy a lob, don't they?
Yeah.
3-2.
Yeah, they're very patient players. Just always hitting the cross-court lobs until they get a good opportunity to counterattack or stuff one in the neck.
Park on that occasion just couldn't get the racket
3-all.
under the ball. So 3-all here in game number 5, 2 games apiece. Baglio was trying to get out the way there, but Vargas elected not to play. 3-4. That was a good get from Baglio. He had to stretch.
That was a good attempt by Baglio.
And out.
Giving it his
5-3.
all. Just throwing his body at the ball. Just couldn't quite get it up, though.
It's been quite a long match, this one. The final match of today was scheduled to start at 3 p.m. We're nearly at 4 p.m. So this game's gone well over what they were expecting. And we should mention Victor Berg and Matt Jenson waiting in the next round. And they will take on Mathur and Badan. Those boys thought they'd be in court by now, but they're still waiting and watching.
They've had to warm up 3 or 4 times and watching them.
Yeah, I've seen them behind the commentary position here, jogging around and skipping. And they've also kept a close eye on this match. No doubt they'll be champing at the bit to get out on the court, but for the time being, this match goes on. 5-3, Smith and Park up in game number 5. Having dropped the first 2 games, they came back into it and won the next 2. And they are eyeing off a spot in the semi-finals.
Yes, flat. 5-3.
So that rally ending in a let as Johnny wanted to play it, but was bumped off position by Carl.
on that occasion. What were your thoughts on that, Freddie?
Yeah, that's probably better safe than sorry. So I would call a let there.
All right.
Yeah, by the time Vargas got behind the ball, his only option was sort of an angle into the sidewall. That's right where Park was. So fair call on the let. I think Carl just hit Johnny with his racket by accident.
Poor old Johnny Smith. He's been in the wars. He's got one on the back of the head in game number 1. He's got one in the hip there. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Right on his hip.
Whack.
Yeah, got him on the follow through.
Right in the love handle.
Yep.
Not that he has any love handles. They're pretty fit, these boys. But that's a little disappointing on that occasion, just finding the 10. That was Park.
5-4.
You can see he was a little dejected with himself. He's been brilliant, Park. On that occasion, missed the mark. So 5-4. Smith and Park still with a 1-point lead here in game number 5, and a fault on the first serve. They'll have a reserve. That was a good get from Baglio. He had to stretch. It was Vargas on the attack, and now Baglio had to defend.
And a 10 from Johnny
Hand out.
keeps
5
this
all.
game close at 5-all. So this game is shaping up to be like the first 3. Pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, we could be in for a classic here. I wonder what the longest match in history is. Do you
The
know?
doubles tour, actually, I don't know. I've personally been in matches that have been 2.5 hours long.
Right. Well, we haven't gone
That's
that long.
happened to me twice. So. I'm sure there's been some 3-hour matches.
Yeah. Brilliant from Vargas.
Just keeps it above the 10.
Yeah, that was very
For a nice
nicely
winner.
played.
Left side.
So that gives Vargas and Baglio a 1-point advantage here at 6-5 in game number 5.
All.
Nice tight rail there from Johnny Smith. He made it real hard for Baglio. Now back at 6s. Again, we're tied. Still very little separating these two teams.
tin from Park as he goes for a burst off the volley.
7-6.
That was a nice inside-out reverse from Park. Hit with some nice touch, very soft. Stayed up front.
Incredible, this game. We are literally going point for point at the moment. It was 5-5, then it was 6-6, now it's 7-7.
Get. Ref's calling it down.
8-7.
Do we often see a let called when the players haven't actually asked for it?
It can happen. For the most part, you have to be pretty vocal about calling your lets and all that.
I think I saw maybe Vargas, who had his hand up. So the next point, another let by the looks of it, yep. 8-7, Park Smith.
Nice drop from Park, finishes off that point. Takes them up to 9-7.
Right side. 9-7.
Vargas was asking for the let there. In the end, he didn't get it. He did end up playing the shot.
10-7.
I think he was asking for the let
Yeah.
on Baglio's behalf, which he can't do. That ball shoots by
11-7.
Carl. Carl slightly misjudging that. A little bit angry at himself. Huh.
So
we're seeing Smith and Park sort of run away here at 12-7 in the fifth game.
Yeah, ever since the start of game number 3, it's been all Smith and Park. I know this game certainly at the start we were neck for neck, but at the moment Smith and Park seem to be, with all the ascendancy, it should be a let.
13-7.
It's not a let.
They gave a stroke.
Stroke in the end. All right. Well, there was no argument from the players. What was your view of that, Freddie?
Yeah, I was thinking it could have been a stroke as well.
14-7,
Okay.
match ball.
He was ready to play it. Ball was struck back at himself.
Well, that previous point brings up a match ball, and in fact 7 match balls for Smith and Park.
Yes, left.
And let.
We're seeing a let being called at the end.
Yeah.
Left. 14-7, match ball.
It was unfortunate because it was a
Look,
pretty
yeah,
nice looking shot.
it's a great choice of shot.
Yeah. Park was just in the way, unfortunately.
Nice length by Vargas. Finding that second bounce in the neck.
14-8, match ball. Yes, left. 14-8.
And that is match.
Match. 3 games to 2.
Johnny Smith and Greg Park. It's a nice comeback by those two. And a valiant effort from Baglio and Vargas to go up 2-love on these guys.
Yeah, spot on, Freddie. In the end, it was 15-14, 15-11 the first 2 games to Baglio and Vargas. But after that, Smith and Park, they take it in 5 games, and they will go through to the semi-finals. Final thoughts, Freddie?
It was a great match. You know, it was long, hard fought, but yeah, it wasn't to be for the white team. Should I say black team? They changed their shirts. So
Well, thanks for joining us, mate. Best of luck
Thank you.
with the rest of your squash season.
appreciate it. Thank
and
you,
we'll see
Josh.
you next time. We will see you after the break, folks, when we come back with our final quarterfinal of the day. See you soon. All right, just about ready to go for our fourth quarterfinal of the day. You are watching the 2015 Jim Bentley Cup. It's the 42nd annual event. And it's Victor Berg and Matt Jenson wearing the red. Yvain Badan and Mathur wearing the black. Now we are told by the organisers and certainly by the other players that this is the match of the day. So don't go anywhere, folks. Looking forward to what should be a wonderful, even contest between four very highly rated players. So early stages underway. The previous match was certainly a long one, but an entertaining one nonetheless. That should be a let.
Stroke.
And it is. In fact, it was a stroke in the end. Apologies. Yeah, he couldn't get out the way. That's a fair enough call. So stroke was the call.
2-love.
So 2-love already. Badan and Mathur off to the perfect start here in this clash.
Love.
That ball looked to be down, so 3-love. That's a nice piece of play from Berg. The drop shot into the front left. Gee, what a start from Berg and Mathur. Mathur. We had a chat to Mathur yesterday on commentary. In fact, it was earlier today. Lovely guy. He was feeling pretty confident ahead of this clash. There's no reason why Mathur and Badan shouldn't be confident. They are the #2 ranked team in the world right now. They're both graduates, actually, from Trinity College. Mathur is actually the head squash professional at the Racket and Tennis Club in New York. And Badan is the head pro at the new Canaan Country Club in Connecticut. So those boys with lots of experience. A lot of people talking about their chances of going all the way through to the final. Of course, if they do, most likely they'll take on Mudge and Gould, who are the #1s, as that ball goes down.
5-1.
So 5-1, a wonderful start for the #2s. So taking a look at the information of the challengers, Berg and Jenson. Both of those guys are #8 in the world as a pairing. Matt Jenson, he's on the rise. After rupturing his Achilles, actually, fairly recently. He's on the comeback trail, but he's doing okay. Certainly this season. At the moment, they find themselves trailing 5-1.
Side out. 2-5.
As we say, a very warm welcome to Graham Bassett. Hello, Graham. I'm very, very well. Now, Graham, how is the tournament tracking so far? You enjoying it?
Oh, absolutely. It's good to be back in Toronto.
2-5.
Been a year since I've been back, since last year, and it's just great to be here. This is a great event. It's a lot of fun, and the players really like being here.
3-5.
Yeah, every player I've spoken to has had a wonderful time. They love coming back every year. No wonder it's been around for 42 years.
Well, that's good. You know,
Second
the very knowledgeable crowd here. They really like their doubles. They really treat the players well. A lot of drinks at the bar, some nice parties, some nice conversation, and everything. So it's just terrific to be back here.
Now, commiserations to you. Unfortunately, knocked out today after what was a wonderful game last night, coming through the qualification rounds. You just happened to come up against two of the best players in the world. That was unfortunate.
The two best players in the world. Yeah, it's a bummer, but we drew them the previous week as well in Atlanta. So unfortunately, the same results. We had a slightly better result last week. Got a game off from last week, but yeah, went down this morning.
Not to worry. There's always the next tournament.
Indeed. 2 weeks, a little break for Thanksgiving, and then down to Delaware. So we're always at it.
There we are. A little different American Thanksgiving from Canadian. We had our Canadian Thanksgiving about 3 weeks ago.
Done,
here.
right?
Yeah. Quite a few weeks ago now. When's the American one? Next weekend, isn't it?
Next weekend, next Thursday. So we get a nice long weekend.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm thinking of coming down to the US for that. I hear it's a fantastic couple of days celebration.
It is the best holiday we have, I think.
7-3.
It's all about gluttony. Plenty of food, plenty of drink. It's
That appeals to me, if I'm honest. As long as I can have a few beers as well, we're all good. So wonderful start here to the match for Badan and Mathur. The number twos, they're going to pretty much start favourites in this match, you would think?
they're definitely favorited here. They lost in the final last week to Mudge and Gould. They beat Jenson and his normal partner Quick last week. So they're definitely favorited here, and they were the runners-up last year, and they've made the majority of the finals last season. So these guys are definitely favored, although there's definitely a buzz around the tournament about whether or not Jenson and Berg, who are two really talented players, whether or not they can take them down. And I expect this will be pretty tight.
Yeah, speaking of Mudgey before, he expected this to be the game of the day.
Absolutely, yeah. This is the title bout here for sure.
All right, so 8-5.
And the thing to watch here is just to see how they manage Monik. You know, he's such a presence on that left wall. That forehand of his is just enormous. So
wow. Yeah, we just saw it on that occasion, didn't we?
Yeah.
He really winds up.
You'll see the guys in red try to manage that, keep the ball away from Monik's forehand, keep him moving around the court.
He's a tall guy, Monik, isn't he?
Yeah, he's enormous. Good 6'5", probably about 180. Strong as Knox as well.
Yeah.
Definitely hitting one of the hardest balls on tour, if not the hardest. And Swiss as well, he's just so steady. So it makes them a really brutal combination, you know. It's the steady Eddie Swiss with the real attacking power of Monik, and it ends up being a pretty successful cocktail there.
It's almost good cop, bad cop in a way.
Yeah, it's you see most teams will try to pick on Swiss, but Swiss is so steady, and Monik will cover some court, take a few balls, and then you're in trouble.
Oh, that should be...
That'll be a let
5-9
there.
for the right, second man.
Interesting with Victor, though. Victor has one of the best pair of hands we've seen on tour. He's extremely crafty, extremely creative. I mean, he'll attack from any position. He just, you know, there's no discipline whatsoever. He'll go for it. So and frequently he put together a really good string of winners as well. So and Matt is just super consistent.
10-5.
Has some good offense as well, and just really smart player. Positions really well, moves well. So this should be interesting for sure.
Saw a little bit of magic from Manek. Everyone thought he was going left. He ended up going right.
Yeah.
That was stunning stuff from the big left-hander as he now chases the ball deep in the court. Well, you were saying his forehand is powerful. His backhand looks just as powerful,
yeah,
to be honest.
He's got a big swing. He's really tough to deal with on the left. He's a big guy, so he takes up a lot of court to begin with. And, you know, when he takes a big swing like that, it's just, you know, there's no space for another player on the left, so he's really tough to deal with. It is not, Jesus, that's a good ball. And that's the problem. If you give him an open ball in his forehand like that, it gets, you know, half the time it's going to be a winner, the other half the time it's going to be a shot to put you under pressure.
13-5.
So this is almost the complete opposite from the previous game. Badan and Mathur really are racing away with the first game of this match. That previous match went quite a while.
Unbelievable. 145 minutes.
Wow.
That is a long session there. Those guys are
13-5.
probably feeling it. I imagine their arms and shoulders are pretty sore by now.
No doubt. We were speaking actually with Reid on commentary, wondering how much of an impact that might have in their chances in the next round.
You know, it's definitely going to be an issue.
14-5
I mean,
game
you know,
ball. Greg
and Johnny, even though they're in the semis now, they're tired out and they're going up against the winner of this. So, you know, this bottom half of the draw is a tough road. So, any team coming out of the bottom half is going to have to do a lot of work to get there.
Right side, 14-5.
So let was the call. It will remain 14-5. A whole lot of game balls here for Manek and his partner, the Swissman. We'll just call him Swiss. Is that his nickname? The Swiss?
Yeah, he goes by Swiss.
All right.
On tour, so.
We'll call him Swiss. Badan is a little hard to say for me, so maybe Swiss is a bit easier.
Yeah, I think people are butchering the pronunciation, so he just said, just call me Swiss.
I don't blame him. Okay, so they get 1 point back there, Jenson and Berg, but still facing a bit of a mountain here. Oh, that was close. Jenson had to duck for cover.
Yikes. You want to stay clear of that forehand if you can.
That would sting
Yeah.
as Badan and Mathur take the first game 15-6. We will be back very soon for game number 2. All right, we're set for game number 2 here of this quarterfinal between Matt Jenson and Victor Berg, who are taking on Badan and Manek Mathur. And it is another very warm welcome to Graham Bassett. And Graham, you enjoying the match so far after what was a pretty fast first game?
Yeah, I mean, Matt and Victor didn't exactly get out to the start they would have wanted. You can see that from Victor, though. Like, it takes a little while to get warmed up sometimes, and you consider these guys just spent about an hour and a half warming up, just trying to get ready for this while waiting for the other match to go through. It's not surprising that they can come off a little bit, come on court a little bit not ready to go. So
yeah, we were speaking with Freddie about that in the previous game, the previous match, and he was saying that those boys were just waiting and waiting and waiting and warming up and cooling down, warming up, cooling down. They just didn't know when they were going to be on court.
a lot of the events on tour we're doing four quarterfinals starting at 5 o'clock, and the last match is 8. But after a couple tough matches, those last pairs can go on at 10 p.m. and it's something that's tough to manage. And you see some teams that do it very well. I mean, Monik and Swiss do it pretty consistently well. Damien and Ben as well, but some of the other teams struggle. I know I struggle with that spot. So
Side out.
It's not an easy thing.
2-1.
So 2-1, the early running here once again going the way of Manic and Swiss. Good shot. That was Jenson on that occasion. He found the open court. It was nicely played, wasn't it?
Set up with a pretty good drop from Victor as well that put Swiss up way far up in the court. It's kind of one of the keys to doubles as well, is you're going to try to move one player so far out of position that you can take advantage of them. That's a heck of a shot. Jesus. Look at that.
3-2.
Oof.
That was lethal.
That's why Monik is so dangerous. You know, you just give him an open ball and you're asking for trouble.
4-2.
So 4-2, Manic and the Swissman. They are flying here in the early stages of game number 2.
I don't think this is what anybody expected, to be honest. I think everybody was expecting a pretty close match here, and certainly hasn't started that way. You can see they're playing Jenson a lot. Jenson's getting a lot of action, keeping the ball away from Victor.
Yeah, many people at the start of this tournament were predicting Swiss and Manic could go all the way through to the final, and certainly this match is following suit.
6-2.
Now 6-2. They really haven't given Jenson and Berg a chance to get in the match so far, have they?
It's kind of the way they play as well. It's really really an active style. You know, it's a lot of offense. They play quickly, they serve quickly, and they get out to it. You know, they get right on it right from the start. So you know, if you're not ready to play, they're going to take advantage of you. That's what it looks like is happening now. They're just too much firepower right off the start.
Yeah, and it seems to me as though it's a nice mix of firepower, and their placement has just been amazing.
Yeah.
Manek just continues to find those tricky little shots in the front court. Oh, that one sounded like it hit the tin.
That would be the one thing that would get these guys back into it. If start seeing some errors from Swiss, some errors from Monik, give Matt and Victor a chance to get into the game, then that would help them. But at the moment, these guys have been pretty steady in black.
Yeah, I think that's the first error we've seen from them. I can't recall too many other unforced errors.
Victor misread that one, got in the way for Let. Has there been an Australian player in every match today?
Yes, it's been an Australian fest. We're everywhere. I tell you, we're taking over.
Except the last match, we've had an Aussie in each match today.
Yeah,
3 in the first match. Good Lord.
none in this match, but there is a commentator, so that's close enough.
Yeah. That'll do. We hit our quota.
Yes, there you go. It was important.
Oh, that's a great winner from Swiss.
It was right into the nick, wasn't it? It rolled straight out of the nick. Let's take a look. He hit it with plenty of power. Great stuff again from Manic. He's looking in supreme touch.
It's one of those benefits of being on a forehand is that you can hit that shot consistently. Not too many guys on tour can hit that sort of ball on the left wall or on their backhand side. So that's a crafty little ball from Jenson there.
Yeah, they need more of that, the boys in red.
Oh, yeah.
Gee, that was well played.
And Monik almost got it, too, which is scary.
He's got those long legs. He just takes 1 or 2 steps, and all of a sudden he's in the front court.
For a big fella, he covers the court tremendously well.
Absolutely.
It's very frustrating. That was down, I think.
Yep. 5-9.
Yep, that was the call. So 5-9. Jenson and Berg just putting a few points back-to-back here. They need a few more, though. They need to go on a run and get 4 or 5 in a row.
they really need to take this game as well. You don't want to be in the hole 2 games to love against Monarch and Swiss. Not that it's impossible to come back from there, but it's difficult, and especially on this court with no ceiling and 2 guys with a ton of pace, it's going to be a hard road back. So
speaking of pace, didn't Manek wind up with this? Look at that. Straight down the middle. It was too fast for Matt Jenson. Gee, that's scary power.
He's got a big swing, too. You got to stay clear of the swing, the ball, and then you have to somehow go get it. It's difficult.
What will the call be here?
Probably be a let, although he's going to get the stroke.
All right.
It's certainly what Matt wanted.
It's a bit of a controversial one.
Yeah, you know, that is a stroke as well. The ball came right back to him.
Fair call.
Probably have another let here, I imagine.
6-10.
Same deal there, just misread the ball. I think both players thought it was going to come out to the middle there.
6-10.
We've actually managed to get Monarch out of position a couple times in the front. Normally Monarch's on everything in the front. You really can't catch him up there, but Victor and Matt have figured it out a few times in this game, which is good.
Another example of that big, powerful overhead from Manek on that occasion. The call was from both the boys in blue that the ball was out.
They
they're
thought
just
it hit the
talking.
ceiling.
Yeah, they thought maybe it hit the roof. They're just discussing that with the umpire. Not to be. So 8-10. Jenson and Berg back in the match now.
A nice little comeback now.
I said umpire. I should have said referee. I'm a cricketer, so they're called umpires in cricket. Sometimes we get a bit confused between the two.
That's
wonderful
a great
shot.
ball from Victor.
That was good from Victor, wasn't it? Let's take a look. It was on the backhand.
9-10.
So, I mean, this is what Victor's capable of, you know. It's just good offense from any part of the court. Normally catching his opponents by surprise, not expecting him to go for something like that.
Well, that's what we were expecting at the start of this match. We thought Berg and Jenson would come with that real delicate touch that they have. They control the ball so well against the power of Manek and the Swissmen. They need to keep doing what they're doing. They've pulled a few points back here after it looked like Manek and his partner were going to run away with this second game.
There's a good winner from Matt as well. So they definitely settled into it here. This is a good sign for the red team that they are settled down, starting to get more confident, willing to attack. All tied up. You can see them picking on Swiss too. They're just, everything's coming to that back right corner.
Yeah, I think if I was out there, I'd want to keep the ball away from Manek as much as possible.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. It's not as easy as you might think, though. He covers a lot of court.
Yeah.
Swiss is good about leaving off the balls that he can let Monarch take. That's a great ball. Another good one from Jenson.
He's really started to play at a better level here after they were really blown away in the first game, but playing some wonderful squash now, these two boys in red. Now they're on top here in game number 2.
That's going to be a no let.
Slut.
Ooh, we got
11-10.
it.
He did get it. Yeah, a little controversial.
Not a lot of interference there. Could see why Monik would react that way. See Monik coming way off his line onto the right side there. That's a mistake.
Could be a costly one too. The last thing they want to do is let these boys in blue come back with some easy points. They've been dominant so far, up until a couple of points ago. Now they have to at least claim this second game, don't they?
Well, they're checking the ball to see if it's broken here. It is not.
So it looks as though it's 11-all. Oh, he just missed.
He had Swiss as well, so
yeah.
it's pretty far back in the court.
I was just about to say what a great job he had done in getting his opponent out of position. And in the end, he just caught the tin. Again, they checked the ball.
It's probably a pretty sizable crack in it at this point.
How often do we see the balls break in doubles?
It depends on the batch of balls, to be honest. I mean, if you get a bad batch of balls with some bad glue, you'll see a lot of broken balls. Looks like the ball is broken, so we'll replay that point. Fortunate for the red team there. They're probably arguing that it was broken on the last rally. But yeah, you know, it depends on the ball. But with these guys hitting as hard as they are, it depends on the court too. Some courts wear out balls quicker. But you know, on average, you're probably dealing with 2 balls a match. Obviously, depends how long the match is, and depends how hard the guys are hitting it. It can be interesting too. It depends on, you know, sometimes the ball breaks and it really favors one team. Team needs a break, need a little chance to get themselves back together. You know, it's the equivalent of a timeout, but that's not chosen by either team. So it's always interesting when you have a broken ball.
Yeah, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think Manek and his partner here, Swiss, would be too upset about the break, because they were just under the pump a little bit there from Jenson and Berg. Maybe a chance to regroup, get back to where they were in the game number 1.
Interesting as well is that the new ball comes out. It's going to take a couple weird bounces in the first couple rallies, and it's also going to be quick. It's going to be really, really speedy. So, you know, that can benefit a team that hits with a lot of pace. Although these 4 players have such good hands that most likely it won't affect them much. But it's always interesting. Always interesting that first rally after a ball's been broken to see what happens.
All right, this will be fascinating in that case. We are deadlocked at 11-all here in game number 2. 15-6, game number 1.
Jenson and Berg can figure out a way to sneak away with this game. We're in for a really interesting match. But if it's 2-0 to Monik and Swiss, I'd have to bet on them.
Not impossible to come back from there, though. We saw in the last match, the boys were down 2-0. They ended up winning it 3-2. Although, to be fair, they didn't play their best squash until the remaining 3 games.
Victor thought Matt was going to cover him for him there. A little miscue. And that's what Victor does not need to do. Go for a winner off the serve and make an error instead.
Yeah, so a couple of let-offs straight away here for Manek and Badan, and now they're just 2 points away from claiming a 2-game-to-love lead.
That's a great ball, right down the middle.
Straight down the tee. Let's take another look. It was almost right on top of the tee.
Perfect shot. You'll see that a lot with a team that has a lefty and a righty. You'll see a lot of balls played down the middle because it's 2 backhands down the middle. So you'll see that used a lot, and especially against... Oh, that's a great shot from Swiss. 3-wall reverse. Good timing as well.
Such an important moment for a big shot from Swiss, now with 2 game balls here in game number 2. Great get from Manek. He had to really stretch for it. He had to use all 6'5" of that frame of his. And he keeps the point alive here. What a big point it is in the context of this match.
That's a great get from Swiss as well. That's a great shot from Matt. Little 2-all boast there.
14.
Lovely shot.
Gee, it was important too. Pulls back another point. They've still got a game ball to survive though. Still 14-13. And if Jenson and Berg were to take this point, we would have sudden death. Love sudden death.
They're not going to get it though.
We won't. You are spot on. 15-13. Manic and Swiss take second game, and now they lead 2 games to love. We'll be back very soon for the 3rd game right here on the 2015 Jim Bentley Cup.
Third game.
All right, time for game number 3. Manic and Swiss are flying here. They've taken the first 2 games. They took the first 15-6. They took the second 15-13. Jenson and Berg on the ropes. They need to recover, at least get themselves on the board here. They'll have to win this game. Otherwise, it's tournament over for them. should be a let. And it is.
One love.
So 1 love. Manek, gee, he was a good gentleman there. He got out of the way. In the end, it cost him the point. If he let it hit him, he probably would have got a let.
Side out, 2-1.
So 2-1 the score.
Second left, 2-all.
All right, so 2-2. Manek and Swiss, they are level now with Jenson and Berg here in game number 3. And now Berg and
3-2.
Jenson.
This is going to be a long road back for those guys. But not impossible by any means. The two of them are two of the most talented players out there, so stranger things have happened, for sure.
Could happen, you never know. They just need to at least win
Not
this
if
game.
Swiss hit shot like that.
Gee, that was
Wait.
good, wasn't it?
3-all.
Yep, right into the front left nick. Oh, that one caught the back
Side
left
out.
nick, I believe,
4-3.
and just died. So 3-3. 4-3, apologies. Manek and Swiss up by 1.
This is a good performance from those guys to start here. This is pretty steady. Not a lot of errors. Keeping the pressure on the guys in red the whole time. Not giving him any room to breathe.
Oh, wonderful stuff from Manek. For such a big guy, he's got a
5-3.
lovely touch, and he got down, put the ball exactly where he wanted it on that occasion.
There's a mistake.
It was a high-risk shot, the low boast off the right wall. Didn't quite pay off on that occasion, but when you're up 2 games to love, probably not a bad option.
So I was just about to say they're starting to hit to Monik a little bit more, which is probably
6-4.
ill-advised. And there you go, a big reverse for Monik. We got a low ceiling here at the Cambridge Club, and that's a very tall guy to get over, so it's tough.
He'll be disappointed with that, Matt Jenson. You can see he just threw his head back. It's been a tough match for them here at the start of their Jim Bentley Cup campaign, and they're on the brink of going out.
Yeah, Jenson and Berg just definitely not playing as well as they're capable of, and Monik and Swiss firing on all cylinders here.
Well, it seems to me that Manek and Swiss haven't really allowed them to play the way they want to play. They've been
Giving him no
brilliant.
openings.
Yeah,
No way.
spot on. Great get from Manek again, showing that incredible athleticism for such a tall guy. He moves just as quick as some of the smaller guys on tour. He
There
belts
it
that
is.
one.
Yep.
Wow, what a wind-up from the big man. I think we might have another broken ball after that.
You can just see how he puts his entire body into hitting that ball. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Monik and Swiss actually didn't play together for the first couple tournaments of the season. Swiss played a few events with Bernardo Samper, and Monik played one event with Chris Callis. And they just, you know, these guys really benefited from playing with each other. Swiss certainly didn't have as good as results as he wanted, and Monik did make the final in the Big Apple Open, but these guys are just so good together. I mean, it's they're got great chemistry.
Yeah,
And for Jenson and Berg, this is the first tournament they played together this season. They haven't played a tournament together in a while, so you can see the difference there between a team with really good chemistry and a team that's just starting out.
Yeah, they've been super impressive. I can only remember a couple of unforced errors. And they've just been right on top of their game. Of course, that's why we see them ranked number 2 in the world. Although, if they're going to win the competition, you imagine they'll have to get over the number 1s.
Well, they've done it before.
Yeah.
Not here, but they've done it before. That was down, I think. Maybe not.
I think it might
It
have
must have been down, yeah.
I think the ball's
Or
broken.
the ball's broken, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a break while we get the new ball warmed up, and we'll be back very soon for the remainder of this match.
Five-eight.
All right, we're back for the conclusion of this match. We imagine Monik and Swiss powering towards a straight games victory here. They've taken the first 2 games, 15-6, 15-13, and they now lead 8-5 here in game number 3. And the world number 2 pairing powering on here.
Not out of it yet, though. Jenson and Berg are still in. See what they can do. I think Victor wanted more than a let there, or at least some more room to play the ball. Second broken ball, right? How many broken balls in the last game?
I think there were 3 in the last one, 2 in this one, so might be a bad batch of balls there. Not sure.
Just a hard-hitting batch of players, maybe.
Yep. Certainly in this game. None more so than the big Mathur from India. I'll tell you what, the Indian cricket team will be disappointed they didn't pick him up early and turn him into a fast bowler. They love the tall guys in India because they're the ones that can bowl the ball at around 145, 150 kilometres an hour. Not far off a major league pitcher.
Is there an advantage of having a lefty bowler as well?
Absolutely. There's not that many left-handers, so when you get one, they're a little bit rarer, and the batsmen aren't as used to facing them, so they can be a little tricky to face at times. But squash, I'm glad he chose squash because he's pretty darn good at it.
We are too.
He's entertaining the crowd as he always does with that big, powerful left hand of his. So we're back at 8-6.
Yeah, Jenson and Berg still very much under pressure here. That was in the neck. It's a good shot from Jenson.
7-8.
Yeah, you spot on. Good call. So they get it back to 7-8.
Monacan Swiss appealing that the serve is out, which it turns out it was. 2 serves and doubles. You see a lot of players go for a more offensive serve for the first serve and more conservative serve for the second, similar to tennis.
It's interesting. Singles is only 1 serve. And I think they used to have 2 serves, didn't they, back in the day?
I'm not sure. Not as long as I've been around.
Okay.
But,
I believe the gentleman yesterday, Heathy, who was commentating with me, was saying back in the 70s they had 2 serves in the singles.
for hardball, maybe, yeah. I'm not sure about softball, but for hardball singles, probably, yeah.
There you go. That's well before I was born, so bit of a fresh air swing there from Matt Jenson, but he managed to recover, although he did set up Manning for the big smash, but the boys in red able to keep the point alive.
Oh, Victor.
Yeah. Lovely little drop shot.
Great ball.
Let's take a quick look.
Got his racket back, making Swiss thinking he's going to appeal for a stroke. And just a little feathery drop shot with the front right. Well, nice little winner from Jenson there to take the lead.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. There wasn't much reaction from the crowd, but it was so quick. No one knew whether it went in or not, but it was a winner. Oh, that's a good get from Swiss.
That's a great get. And a winner from Victor. Well, that's good for the team in red if they can put together a few more points here.
Well, they've got it back to 9-all. That's somewhat unexpected.
You know, those good width on this court is a good shot. And you can see all the ball marks on either side wall. There's just a ton of ball marks, and it makes the side wall pretty blue. And so it's actually pretty easy to lose the ball. Oh, that's going to hurt. Ouch. That was a full swing as well. Let's see where he got him.
Oh,
right in the back of the leg.
that's never fun, is it?
Oh, yeah, right in the back of that right leg.
Might have even been right in the back of the knee.
Thank you, Josh, for treating us to that.
Yeah, they do a good job, the streamers. Josh Anu once again bringing the camera angles for us.
Great.
Again, Manek. Wow, he's so agile.
Out.
I think that one's out of play, yep. I thought maybe he kept the point alive momentarily, but the ball just snuck above the red line. I think they may have hit the roof in the end.
Done a great job of getting these guys out of position, getting the black team on the run.
Manak really on the attack here. That's 3 massive shots in a row. Gee, and yet it was a let, but he let rip there for a couple of points.
You see Monaco will get frustrated now and again, and he'll take out his aggression on the ball.
That's probably not what they want, the boys in red, because that ball's going to be coming back at them at a rate of knots.
Just doing a good job of working Monarch and Swiss around the court here. Oh, there's another hit.
Not again.
Oh boy.
This time it was Swiss. Yep.
Right in the side of the leg. Gonna be some tattoos at the end of this match.
Feel like they've been
pretty good
doing
shot though, by the way.
Yeah.
Saw how that ended up. Nice little boast off his leg.
And it
Into the
landed.
neck.
It went in. Wow.
It's a pretty good shot.
Oh,
Oh,
brilliant
there it
from
is.
Manic. Gee, that was powerful from the left-hander.
He's angry now.
Yeah, he's really.
You made him mad
They've
now.
wound him up. That one's out.
That's a mistake from Jenson.
Yeah.
Not the right time for that either. They had these guys on the ropes, so now's not the time to be making mistakes.
Wonderful play again from Manek. On that occasion, it was the delicate touch. We've seen so much power from him, but that was the opposite. It was nice, wasn't it?
You can hear Victor frustrated too, because he knows he left an open ball for Monarch to take advantage of. Oh, that's a good shot from Swiss as well. These guys have just, it's a good match for those guys. Monarch and Swiss just played excellent in this match.
Yeah, they're powering to victory here in straight games. They've got 4 game balls to take it and take a spot in the semi-final.
Oh, Victor. There's some Victor magic. A little too late, but that's a nobody hits that. Pretty crafty.
Well, apparently Victor Berg does. That was nice. So they've saved 1.
Need a couple more here. Oh. All right. 13-14. This could be interesting.
They've saved a
12-14
couple of game
rather.
balls now. Still got 2 to save, though.
Uh-oh. Yep, there it is.
That's it.
Monarch and Swiss.
Manek, Mathur, and Yvain Badan, the man we call Smith, take it in straight games. They were so impressive. 15-6, 15-13, 15-12. Graham Bassett, thank you so much for joining us. Your final thoughts on that match?
Just a really good performance from Monarch and Swiss. I mean, they're really firing on all cylinders and just got the job done. I mean, you know, they came in ready to go and they did it. So, I mean, great playing from those guys and tough luck for Jenson Berg.
All right, so that's it. Manek and Badan go through to the semi-finals. Thank you very much for joining us here on the 42nd Annual Jim Bentley Cup. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.